Okay, you guys, hello everyone and welcome. I'm Jeneth Lyanca and this is
I'm
my
Lyanca.
and there she is, and this is the Haute Hustle Show. Today we're joined with Kourtney Levens, who is going to guide us with angels, and we're going to have a conversation about truly becoming one with your angels. And from what I know about Kourtney and all the cute little feedback that I've gotten is she's quite the angel herself. That she doesn't just channel or guide you with angels, but she actually is angels. And I've also heard quite the thing where you've actually helped people connect to their own angels
Mm.
who now channel too. So, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I love that you're in Texas. Because I'm in Texas, and just you sound like me. It sounds great.
And we have a lot of people joining us from Central Texas as well. So, yeah, I'd love to, we can get in there.
Yeehaw, y'all.
I love it. And right now we've got South by Southwest going on. So lots of people descending on the area, lots of good energies and just, people from all over. Maybe we just kind of like, send that good love out to the world and hopefully have a great conversation with you today.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure.
yeah. She does have a little more of that Texas twang, though.
And y'all will slip out of my mouth.
All the
And
time.
Kourtney, I guess let's, we had a pre-call, and the minute I got on the phone with you, I felt like you were my best friend. You just had that connection, that warmth, and it was just so beautiful. And it just is, it's so nice sometimes to just meet up with somebody and just go, oh, I just want to hug you. You're just so beautiful. So with that said, let's I would don't know your background and I don't know how you started channeling. And so I would like to go on that journey with you. Will you take us through kind of the steps that brought you to where you are today?
y'all are not, I mean, I'm glad you're sitting down because
Hmm.
um, I grew up in the motorcycle industry.
Okay.
My parents have a motorcycle, four-wheeler, watercraft, side-by-side business that now my sister owns. And so I grew up in that family business from the time I was 3. Um, Rode a motorcycle before I rode a bicycle. So swinging that pendulum from ego testosterone racing, which don't get me wrong, I still love racing, all the way over to
Sure.
happy fluffy clouds like, angels,
Did the
extremely difficult for my dad. But growing up in the family business, I worked with my parents and my sister, and we were best friends, right? My mom got sick with cancer and was not supposed to die. That's my ration, right? She
Right.
wasn't supposed to die. And when she died, it devastated me. And things started happening right before she was diagnosed. I started, stay with me on this, started hearing voices.
Mm.
I'd be lying in my bed at night and I would hear this beautiful music. And I'm not very musically inclined, right? I like the radio and my parents played instruments growing up, but I could tell if it was a piano or a guitar. But when I started listening to this music, I couldn't make out the instruments. And it was very, not to sound cliche, but celestial. And
Mm.
so I would try to listen to it and it would disappear.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I would tell I was like, I hear music at night. And so my dad,
No.
left brain, said, "We'll turn off the radio, right?" And it continued. One night I was in bed and I was reading, and I always read, like self-help books and
Mhm.
spiritual books. And I'm reading, and my neighbors were having a party outside. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're having a party. They know I'm single, right? And how could they not invite me? And it was so loud. I knew that there were going to be cars just not on the cul-de-sac, but up and down the streets. I was sure people were standing in my yard.
Yeah.
I could hear these conversations plain as day. So I creeped over to the window and pulled back the blinds and there was nobody there. And that's when I said, that's it, I'm absolutely losing my mind. And I promise you, if you're a girl in Houston and you tell a doctor you're hearing voices, they will make it stop. I went to several doctors and had multiple diagnoses.
Wow.
And tons of drugs, walking zombie, but it made the music, which was actually very beautiful, stop. The voices, the chatter stop. Now let me disclaimer here. The voices never told me anything negative. This was not go do something bad or harmful. It was just overhearing conversations like if you were outside a party, right? Never felt scared or anything like that. Then after mom passed, it was really, really stressing me out not being able to talk to her. So I decided I want to talk to mom. And I quit my job, which I do not recommend to people. Okay, don't quit your job before you have another one lined up, right? Went to Hawaii, said I'm going to take this course to be a reader because I always thought that was so cool. And I thought, and I can talk to mom.
Yeah.
So I flew to Hawaii, and in this class, there were all these girls who would sit around and they were like, oh, you have this beautiful aura. And I was like, I see nothing. I mean, black. I closed my eyes, I saw black. And they were like, oh, and it's this and it's this. And I was like, you know, but I'd made so much money for this course. I was not going to fly back to Houston. So I stuck it out. Well, being the genius that I was and quitting my job, I got home and I was not going to go back tail between my legs to dad and say, can I please have my job back? So I dang near starved, literally no money. All my money went toward the mortgage and the car. And I started doing readings. And it was literally sink or swim, do or die.
Yes.
It was because of that I couldn't just quit, right? So that is how I got started doing readings, and it progressed. And I will tell you, it wasn't a near-death experience and all of a sudden seeing full-body apparitions. Okay, this was out of necessity.
Yeah.
It was a like I believe everybody can sing, right? I mean, some better than others. I'm really great in my car with nobody else in the car, but this is the same thing. This is a natural skill you are born with. This is innate within you, and it can be taught, and it can be polished and expounded on, and you be able to have full-on conversations with your angels and guides and spirit. And so that was really how it got started.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow.
that's
It's funny
fascinating.
because I actually, and I think that this is just my brain that continues, but I'll listen to something that has binaural beats and it'll be taught, sometimes there's a meditation with a guided meditation or something. And then afterwards it'll be done, and maybe it'll be done for hours, and I'll just hear kind of that binaural beat kind of rhythm. And I always was just, I don't know if that's just my brain doing that kind of thing or if that actually is, because it's beautiful music and it just kind of has me being in this realm of the universe. So it's that's interesting. I've never heard somebody that just is like, oh my gosh, I hear music and a party. That's
It was
wild.
it was crazy. And so I thought I was crazy because this wasn't something that we talked about. I grew up, my mom was a Sunday school teacher. So I grew up with religion, from the South, right? Baptist.
Yes.
The whole thing of communication, that was not something discussed. Looking back on it, I can tell you exactly what it was. It was all of my angels coming in to prepare me for the passing of my mom.
Yeah.
I know it very clearly now. And I'm very pleased to say that I did, I don't know, was this my rebellious stage? I stood up to Big Pharma and went, I'm not going to take all these medications. Now, again, disclaimer, okay?
Right.
I've gone back to the 3 different psychiatrists who diagnosed me as bipolar, and they all said, we've never heard of like spontaneous healing, but you don't have any symptoms. It seems you were misdiagnosed. And then they look back and they go, well, I was the one who diagnosed you and I made a mistake, which, that's very difficult for them to
Yes.
say, but
Yes.
it is part of what goes on. And it's my belief that, everything is energy. So we can pick up on bad juju,
Yes.
right? And it can stick to us.
Mm-hmm.
That can make our personalities swing from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. Plus, come on, we get kind of inundated with our own, what's going on in our life,
Mm-hmm.
our kids, our step parents, or whatever. That weighs on us and that energy sticks with us. So it can also alter your mood. But I will say that some of the techniques I learned from my angels and guides regarding clearing ourselves, grounding, shielding, things that y'all heard, was extremely instrumental in getting rid of that energy that didn't belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
It allowed me to get back to myself. And there are times that when I get ready to go to bed at night, I'll be lying in bed and I start to hear the voices and I go, oh, wait, hang on. If y'all want to talk to me, it's great. I'm fine. But we have to go back to my hours of operation.
We talked about that earlier in
Yeah,
the
we
show.
Yeah.
I've got to get some sleep tonight. I mean, especially when I had a newborn baby, being awake all night. I was like, oh, no. We can't play tonight. Yeah, so it's become much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say controllable, but I do turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk
Well,
a little
that's-
bit about that? We had talked about it. Jeneth basically changed my life by sharing that with me because I too thought I was kind of crazy. And she said, "Oh no, you have to give them hours
Of operation.
And
Yeah.
at this time, this is about 12 years ago, and I was like, I didn't even know what I was, what I was dealing with or, experiencing it truthfully, at the time. So I'm really grateful to have found, Jeneth, and now, you're going to speak about this work. What exactly, how do you feel about that, or what are your thoughts? Where do you want
The
to?
last part it cut out saying,
How do you really set up the hours
Yeah,
of
yes.
operation? Do you want to talk about that so everyone else
Yes.
is enlightened on that?
sure. We grew up with Ouija boards. Gosh, I probably shouldn't say that too loudly. But, and you think about it, a Ouija board probably isn't inherently bad, right? But we didn't start off with a prayer or it had protection.
Good.
It's one of the first things I teach to my students and to my clients are what I call the rules of engagement. And it is the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who are you communicating with? And you want to be safe and you want to know that they're benevolent beings. I didn't want to mess with any earthbound spirits. So I literally wrote it out and I had all of my students do this. You're gonna write, who are you talking with? Because I am straight up, I'm not going to mess with anything that's even borderline bad juju, right? I'm only going to the highest light, the highest source. And so I wrote that down and I said, please don't wake me up in the middle of the night and scare me with full-bodied apparitions. That would unnerve me. When I started having kids, I said, I had to make it very, very clear. You cannot wake up my kids. My 6-week-old baby or 6-month-old baby was not sleeping through the night. I went into a room and I just sat there in the corner, and about 30-40 minutes into it, she started crossing souls over. And I was like, oh, no. Y'all can save this for when she's older, but no, that's my rule. You can't wake up my kids. Don't flip the lights. And so it wasn't just my rules of engagement with my angels and guides, but also I discovered I had mediumship abilities. And I said, oh no, I'm not going to be the crazy lady running around town saying I have a message for you. So you make those people find me and say, I have a message, right? But really putting that in writing for my certified readers, they'll even come into a point in their career where they say, you know what? I don't want clients who want to come and talk to me about politics. Let's just not be in alignment or calling clients who are going to ask me about something like this, right? And so those rules, those boundaries, hey, can y'all talk louder? Hey, don't wake me up in the night. That has been extremely instrumental. I have gotten to the point now that I will say, okay, if the message is for me or my family, you may come to me during the day when I'm taking the kids to school or picking them up in the car ride or line or just, things like that. And I will have those random thoughts that I know are from on high come in and give me that confirmation, the validation of what I was thinking earlier. But really being able to say, we're not playing right now. And that's you're right.
I just learned so much right now.
I feel like, yeah, that was beautifully said. Do we just kind of want to open up the line and bring on some callers for you to work with? Or I feel like that might be the best way to
I like
play
that.
with this group, don't you think? Just kind of
Absolutely.
let 'em
I'm ready.
experience it. Okay. How would be the best way to ask callers to start asking you a question?
I need their first name. We give a lot of power to a name.
Okay.
So whether it's, your first name, your birth name, your nickname, that will pull in different angels and guides, believe it or not. So the name that you go by daily, if it's a nickname or your real name, doesn't matter. I will ask for that. Your geographic location, and that's not for anything except to help me when I pinpoint the energy, I can go straight to where you are and it's just faster.
Mhm.
And your age. A lot of times they'll tell me your age before you even give it to me, but other times they'll tell me another age that was a pivotal point in your life. A
Cool.
lot of times when people begin their spiritual awakening, I'll get that number or,
So
hey,
do you want their age or not?
current age. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Lyanca, you want to go first? Just
Sure,
have her and are they quick, Kourtney, that we can just kind of
Yeah. I can do it like 2 minutes if that sounds good.
Yeah, that's
cool.
fine.
Yeah, we've got some queuing up in the chat as well. So let's go ahead and why don't you go first, Lyanca?
Okay. So I'm Lyanca and my age is 45 and I'm here in Austin, Texas.
Okay. One of the first things that comes through is your right brain, your creativity, your artistic ability is really, really expansive, really off the charts. They're telling me that it's not that you're always happy-go-lucky, although you try to be, but you are a person who's very, very resilient and you bounce back from any dips. You're pretty good at holding your light. Does that make sense? Does that sound
Yes, that's dead on.
okay? They're talking a little bit about Austin for you. Maybe it didn't always feel like home, but you're really getting into the groove of things, really starting to have some roots, and that it feels more like home now. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, because I had moved to Oregon for like 5 years, and I'm from Austin, Texas, but being there, really, really loved being. I was like, I really love Austin. I can't wait to be back. So yes.
Okay. What question would you like to ask your angels?
Oh, so I walked away from corporate America. I was in radio and television for a long time. And, that comes with a regular job and paycheck. And of course I'm doing this work now and I love it. And I had always had it on, I've always done this work, but I'd always have it on the back burner. And so now it has my full focus. What are some messages around that and maybe about having a lot more courage, and how can I be more open to really working with spirits so that way I can make sure that I'm putting forth the best, speakers here, and really supporting the people that are coming to join us.
Love it. Archangel Michael is coming in for you, and Michael.
It's like, wow, just entered this whole space in between us.
He's the one who watches over our personal safety as well as our financial security. You'll see him in the paintings with the sword, right? He's like our BFF. One of the things he's talking about is your risk tolerance and you being able to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take that risk and not worry so much about if there's failure. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing he's talking about is you are a high achiever and you are destined to be a high achiever and continue to be a high achiever. But there is almost a fear around making a mistake or doing something wrong. Is that accurate? Is that true?
Yes, dead on. I was raised by my grandparents, so I made straight A's. I have always been that way. So always like very, very studious, very, hey guys, let's go get this done. Kind of motivator, cheerleader for people. But I also had a lot of attachment to doing well in those ways that are more graded, if you will, even at work.
Sure. So his big message to you is release that fear. And you can do it by even saying, okay, fear, where are we going? Like my 6-year-old says, zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket. I'm forward. So get rid of the fear because it'll show up as procrastination.
Oh,
And saying you're not necessarily a procrastinator, but more distraction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So fear, tell it where to go. Allow yourself to take risks, especially even with some of the guests you have on the podcast. Some of the advertising methods. Hold on. Do you mind if I look into this for a second?
Yes.
Okay. There's something. This may be something you learned in Oregon because they're taking me over to the West Coast of the U.S. So some kind of methodology or strategy. They're just, that energy keeps going over there, possibly even someone you worked with. They're encouraging you to do that and to spread out, to use your contacts, to use that to help boost this.
Okay.
You're really good at asking for things like, hey, what's been your best way to do this? And that's one of your strengths. But also the biggest thing is release the fear around taking risks so that you can move forward.
Okay. I'm all in.
I love it.
Yes.
Wow.
And you have a great team around you, here and here.
I know. Thank you. I'm really getting that now. And thank them. I thank them.
Gratitude sent back.
Yes. And do we want to take some colors now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Kourtney.
And let's take some from the chat too. Well, let's take Joe because he's a new lounge member. If you are in the lounge, you get first priority. So Joe, you're up. We need your name and where you're from and your age.
First name is Joe. I'm from Cole, Texas, and Kourtney may know where this is at. And age is 70.
Okay. Joe, before you even ask a question, one of the things that they're coming through and saying is your philosophy in life has always been not to be afraid of hard work. Is that true?
True.
Okay. One of the things they're also saying is you're also learning right now that we're not necessarily having to work as hard because we can call in spirit and guides for that help. They're saying that you've recently had an interaction with that. Is that true?
True.
Awesome.
Head on so far.
Fun.
Amazing. Joe, what question do you want to ask him?
An incident that happened back in '95. I was considered the pedestrian, an auto pedestrian accident. I was pinned between two cars at 65 plus miles an hour.
Sure.
I'm here. Don't do that. I'm here.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry you went through that. It hurts me for you.
The big part of that keeps plaguing me right now is a money issue because of that accident. There was no insurance. So it was all on me. That took away every bit of savings I had. So now I'm living on nothing but Social Security. What do I do to totally resolve that?
Okay.
I've worked on it, and I'm not having any success.
Okay. One of the things that I go into is, do you believe in other lifetimes?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to be respectful of that because when I go into it, it's not just this lifetime. It goes to another lifetime where you've got some vows, oaths, promises, commitments. in other lifetimes that would need to be fulfilled and released. If you and I were to get on a call and have a session, we could go through and do that clearing for you. It takes a little bit. But that releasing those vows to poverty, to suffering, to struggle is going to be huge for you. One of the things that you can start doing right now is to start daydreaming. I love this because Archangel Jophiel, who is like the angel of beauty, she comes in on this, and Archangel Shamuel, who is the angel of finding. You're looking for your car keys or cell phone or glasses or your soul purpose or your soul mate. Shamuel is the angel I like to call on. And these two are coming in right now, and they're talking about you getting into a space of daydreaming. Wouldn't it be nice? Now, it's a little bit different than if you see somebody in a Mercedes and you go, oh, it must be nice. No, this is, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if, okay? And I can see you've got some land. When I look around you, I can see your house up here, but I can see that there's a lot of land. They're going through and they're talking about practicing who you're going to become, who you are becoming. So one of the things, if you walk up to your house and you throw your Coke can or your water bottle on the ground, know that you are practicing becoming someone who doesn't care. So as you live your life, being very conscious of what you're practicing, how are you living your life? Are you practicing a life of the good walk and the good talk? Those things. Are you caring about not just yourself, how you look, how you feel, your mental health, emotional health, intellectual health, even your spiritual health, but also physically, your body, your surroundings. When I go into finances in particular, I'm not seeing like we're going to have a buried treasure chest, but I am seeing incremental increases in money with these changes in you. And you're the one who has free will. So it's going to be work on your part. But by daydreaming, that's going to start putting that energy into flow.
Interesting.
Is that helpful?
Wow. How interesting. Thank you, Kourtney.
Thank
You're
you
so welcome.
Okay, and Kim, you're up next. And then we'll take somebody from the chat.
Where's Kim?
So
Kim,
ask to unmute.
ask unmute. Kim, are you there?
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yes.
There I am. Okay. So my name is Kimberly Schwent. I'm 47 and I live in Sums, Alabama.
Okay, I love your energy. I got to tell you, as soon as I wrote down your name, it's kind of like automatic writing, but a lot of energy comes through. You are a leader. You are optimistic. You look for the good in everything. Right now is a gateway time in your life. Think about the numerology of 47. It comes to an 11. 11 is about intuition. It's considered a master number, but know that it's also considered a gateway number. So this is when the gates are open for you this year. And really financially, they're talking about you and your creative talents. You've got an entrepreneurial spirit. It looks like you're juggling kids right now. It also looks like you're putting one in a car seat. Is that accurate? How old is your daughter?
No, I don't. I have actually my dogs. Like I have dogs and they're kind of my kids. But I have two sons, but they're raised. Like they're grown, like 22 and 30. So
So this is, I see you putting them like in the back seat in a harness kind of thing. So your dogs. Okay. What are, well, I could go into that forever. Tell me what your question is, because I want to know about this entrepreneurial spirit you've got.
so that's kind of my question is like, am I on the right path? And what's blocking me from moving forward? Because I feel like I'm a little bit of overwhelm and I'm just like, what's stopping me? Like, why do I keep stopping?
You have such ambition, drive, determination. I mean, you are motivated. You don't take no for an answer. If I could offer a thought of speaking to someone who's a professional, maybe even a business coach, that's going to help you because you're going to be able to talk out a lot of your ideas. So right now, when I go into all this energy up here, overwhelm, right? The thinking, the creative energies that come through, being able to talk with somebody, whether it's the Small Business Administration, they have free counseling with people who are, business owners and entrepreneurs who will help you with the business plan and stuff. You've got so many ideas and it's kind of overwhelming your skill set. So being able to talk it out is going to be huge for you. Are you on the right path? Archangel Michael is talking about, you've got this one line that you're focusing on, but you've got some other segues that are trying to get in the way. Really hone it in and concentrate on this first one. It doesn't have to be a 10. It doesn't have to be perfect. But when you get this going at about a 6 or a 7, then you can bring in these other options, opportunities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. Yeah. Thank you.
Is that helpful?
You're very helpful. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Cam. All right, and we are going to take somebody from the chat.
Yeah. So Christina has a question. Christina wrote in, she says, I've had several pneumonias. What is that related to? But she didn't put her where
name.
she's from and her age. So Christina, if you could put where you're from and your age, that would be great. So we'll move to the next one. I have Katie from Florida, who is 80, and she says she wants some help with finances and health.
Okay, Florida.
There's a bunch.
I only get that one part because
Okay, so Katie, one of the first things they're telling me when it comes to the finances, you've got Archangel Gabriel coming through on this, which is really interesting. Gabriel is the archangel over artists, communicators, dancers, singers, anything right brain. So a lot of Lyanca, okay? That energy is coming through on this. So Gabriel is here to also help you overcome any fear you have about moving forward on your spiritual path. So asking Archangel Gabriel to give you that motivation to move forward is going to help open you up, because right now when I see you energetically, you are hitting up against this energetic barrier when it comes to money. It's putting you in a lack mentality. One of the things you can do, and this is something small, is to start giving. This does not mean you don't give right now, okay? Don't misunderstand me. But when we give cheerfully, we receive cheerfully. Mm-hmm. By breaking through that energetic barrier. Now, whether this is grandkids, now if it's grandkids and you don't think they deserve it, don't give it to them, okay? But if you see an animal shelter and that tugs at your heartstrings, go into that heart space and where you felt drawn to give, and give cheerfully. It can be $1, it can be $5. Also, go through your house. You've got a lot of glass, is what they're saying, which is kind of funny to me because I don't know that I've ever seen that. So maybe vases or dishes, they're just saying glass. Donate this. Go give it to Goodwill, Salvation Army, whatever. That's going to invoke the law of giving and receiving. That's going to start allowing that energy to flow. And right now, it's all about the energy flowing, because December, January, even February, finances were really, really tight, and that energy was very, very constricted. But March, we're opening up. We're moving out of that lack mentality. We're moving into this more of a safety, like, yes, I am the creator of my destiny. So know that when you invoke that law, that's really going to help. And on your health, you've got a lot coming in the chest and even the abdomen. Get outside more. Get grounded, barefoot in the grass, but start taking some really deep breaths and movement, stretching, Pilates, yoga. That kind of stuff is going to be beneficial overall. Okay.
That's fabulous. Okay. Let's go to Andrew's iPhone.
I love it.
All right. Andrew.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. Yes, so my name is Andrew. I live in Houston, Texas, and I'm 63 years old. And my question is, am I on the right path? I have a strong desire to really break into the art area ever since I was a child, but a lot of circumstances, I never believed in myself. I didn't have confidence, and that has slowly changed over the last almost 8 years now. And so I just want to, I guess, confirmation and assurance that I'm not wasting my time and I'm not putting out money on wasted, things.
Okay. I love the energy that's coming through for you. You've got quite a crew of angelic beings here to help you. Know that number one, this is not a waste of time. Number two, this is something that you have been putting off. It's been in your heart forever, right? And like you said, even since childhood, and now having the courage to come forth and move into it, it is not a waste of time. This is when you'll be closest to God. And if I can offer a little, this is what I tell some of my clients who are my mentoring clients, who I almost coach a little bit with the spiritual guidance, is think about when you want to give up, when it seems like it's too hard, when it's not going well, think about Jesus. Remember that he was, and not necessarily in a religious way, right? But think about Jesus. He was told by everybody, they're going to kill you. They're going to crucify you. Go home, hide out, quit going out there. Quit talking about these healings. Quit saying you're the son of God, right? Everything, tell him no. But did he go sit on the couch and eat bonbons? No, right? He kept going out there. He kept doing. He knew what he was being called to do. It's in his heart, right? God's not going to put that in your heart unless that's what you're meant to do. So know that this is helping you to overcome that fear of procrastination to move forward on your path and really embrace this. Know that anytime there is a setback, we receive information, we get feedback, it's knowledge, and that knowledge is power and helps us to continue moving forward. So no, absolutely you are on the right path. This is not a waste of time. And they're saying that you're even dabbling into different things. So the painting and drawing may also go over into going to ballets and plays, and really give yourself that support and allow yourself to do it.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kourtney, real quick, I just want to make a point, because when you were talking right now, some of that stuff was really landing for me. And wouldn't you say it's true that the questions here today are also facilitated for the greater good for everyone on the line? Talk a little bit about how that works.
So it's no coincidence.
That's right.
The people who are on this call today were all aligned, right? There's going to be I don't want to say commonality, not to make us all just mediocre, but know that we all have similar energies. And whether it's been at the back of our mind or the forefront of our thoughts, know that that is going to resonate with us, and that's going to pull in whoever is aligned with these messages. And collectively, as that energy comes closer together, whether it's a Zoom call or in a town, those collective thoughts that are along the same entrainment are going to rise. So it's good, especially if you've got like-minded people who are all about looking at the positive aspects of things. That energy rises, but you've also got, you can go into a place where it's hostile. You've heard of mob mentality, right? That energy starts to rise. So we are divinely inspired to come to these meetings or to come to these calls, because there's that thread of energy that we all hold in common, right? And yeah, finances right now, especially coming off of January, we're starting to see the opening up in March. But yeah, it's something that's going to hit home for a lot of people, because collectively we all come from God, right? We're all part of that divine spark. So collectively, we're all going to have some thread of that in us, unless we've already learned the lesson, overcome it, and we're able to drop it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Do you want to take another one from the feed?
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, we'll do another live one.
Okay. All right, Kat, you're up.
Hi, I didn't think I was going to get picked. Thank you. I've had a reading with Kourtney before, so I'm still kind of, from what we talked about last time, a little still concerned about how, I mean, not to bring down our call, but like I had that feeling where I feel like I'm being spied upon in my apartment. And right now I'm not there because I don't feel safe and comfortable there. And I'm trying to figure out how to, I mean, I guess pack up my things and go kind of thing. Because I'm concerned, like, should I be calling the police because that's how I feel, or I should just go in and just pack up my stuff and just leave and not do that.
Kat, and I apologize because I don't recall my
Yeah.
readings. They
Yeah.
are not my thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But normally when something like this happens, Jeneth Lyanca, if someone has this kind of feeling, one of the first things the angels will encourage them to do is to start clearing. When I was in motorcycles, I would feel the excitement of the guys walking in wanting a 200-mile-an-hour motorcycle, and I would get so pumped, not even knowing why, right? But it's energy. We can feel it.
Yeah.
And then in 10 seconds, boom, I was furious, mad, no clue why, right? Hence the bipolar diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
It's their mom, their sister, their girlfriend walking in behind them going, don't you dare get that bike, I will kill you, right? So I'm picking up on that.
Yeah.
When that happens, it sticks to us. And then we have the mood swings and everything. So one of the things that when I see something like this with Kat and the angels bring through this energy, letting me know these are not your thoughts. This is not your energy, Kat. So
Okay.
usually what they do is they recommend clearing, serious clearing. Get to the ocean because the salt water cleanses our aura just instantly, right?
Okay.
We also release what is no longer serving us and what doesn't belong to us. And you're going to drop a lot of that. Now, here's the caveat to that. So, Kat, you go, that's it. I'm clearing. I'm getting rid of all this, energetic crap on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go and you clear. If we walk back into the same environment every day and our shield, our invisible force field, if you will, is not strong enough, guess what? It comes back on us. So
Okay.
moving, sure, that's a viable option for you. But when you move, make sure you are leaving all of that energy behind, sending it up to the light. Even they're even talking about having someone come in and bless your house. And that can take many shapes and forms. So
Mm-hmm.
talk to a professional about that. But this is going to be something that you have got to decide, is this something that I'm willing to hold in? Is this negative energy? Are these toxins? Am I willing to keep them or am I ready to release them? It doesn't mean that you condone what's happened or anything like that, or you've forgotten it, but know that that fear will breathe, right? And it's one of the things we see with people who are shut-ins. They will actually almost become like telekinesis, right? Objects moving, because that energy builds. And when that energy builds, you can start to move that energy yourself, right? If you are in a state of fear, you build that fear exponentially. So the clearing, the shielding is going to be imperative for you, and making sure that also, come on, let's be frank, the EMFs, electromagnetic fields around us, are causing horrible reactions and paranoia, because those energy lines are all over us, right? They've done studies before. You can walk into a house, it's next to a transformer, power line, anything like that. And even somebody who's a doctor who doesn't believe in woo-woo stuff says, somebody's watching me. Now, Kat, I'm not saying that's what's going on with you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't misunderstand. But get away from the electricity lines. Get the Himalayan salt lamps. That's going to help quell those EMFs. They have so many different devices. With the Harmony pendant, get that. That's going to help keep that 5G off of you.
Mhm.
And Kat, you're a lover of crystals. We've got to get those away from your cell phone, your alarm clock, your TVs, because it's amplifying those EMFs too. Okay, baby?
Okay. How
What,
do
can I ask a
uh,
question about this? Is that okay?
Sure.
It seems, what about saging or smudging the house? Could that be something? And I think what came through with me is this an entity within her home that's, causing this? And
She says she's in an apartment, correct? You're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're picking up on a lot of stuff, a lot of people's stuff.
possibly,
Yeah.
it could
She's
not
got,
be the,
and here's the thing, because Kat is intuitive, she has this beacon, this radar that says, oh, pick me, pick me. And without those rules of engagement of saying who I'm going to play with, she's got some, I hate the word entity, I'm sorry, bad juju right here. Okay, and it will hide and it will stay there. And you may even go a few days, Kat, and think, oh, I'm good to go, I'm great. But it has to be really, really strong. And you have to be stronger than that. So if you find yourself starting to slip back into even victim mentality, guilt, shame, oh my gosh, it just digs in even deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Saging, smudging, yes, it is beneficial for the physical place. Know that when you do that, you want to call in Archangel Michael and what I call like his band of mercy, his army of protection, to come in and stand at every window, every corner, every door. And I like to call in Shamuel to be on the roof, to put a dome of protection over it. Right now, you are being almost, if you want to say, energetically invaded from so many different points. We've got to get you, not just you protected, but when you go out into the world, get your car in that bubble of energy, that protective energy. And it doesn't have to be white light or purple light. It can be anything, right? Just get that protection on you. And at night or even daily, you've got to keep clearing. But know that those EMFs are wreaking havoc on you. And this is something, and Jeneth and Lyanca, this is something people don't usually talk about, but I've done enough healing work to see this. And Kat, I'm not saying this is you, okay? But like the lady who mentioned, she has like chronic pneumonia or these diseases that keep happening over and over again. We have to ask, what is the underlying thought here? Is there a secondary benefit? And again, this is not something consciously that people go, oh, I want to be sick. Because when I was little, mom would come in and stay home from work and she would baby me and fix me soup. Okay. But know that subconsciously it's there. So we have to get to that subconscious thought and be able to rewrite it. And a lot of the healers can do that these days, changing those beliefs so that we say, no, that secondary benefit is not worth it to me. Or, hey, maybe you're a grown adult and mom's not there anymore. Maybe people don't come and tell you how much they love you, but it's a need that we have, right? So our ego, our subconscious can be creating this and manifesting this because of those secondary benefits.
Wow.
Can I just ask one more question? So how is there any kind of ritual that I can do to try to release this, whatever this energy is that's from my old space so that it doesn't follow me?
So yes, and wonderful question. I love this because Archangel Haniel is coming through for you. You might even notice kind of a pale blue color when she's around. She is, her name is like Grace of God, and she is like the poster child for a job interview. But one of the things that she's saying for you, Kat, is to use the lunar cycles. And I will tell you, I'm not an expert on it by any means. I'm just repeating what she's saying. So on the full moon, release, right? And do that to sage your house. Use that time to sage and smudge your house. Use it to the nighttime clearing meditation. It's available on YouTube, or if you email my office, they can send it to you. But that nighttime clearing meditation, if you don't even like listening to my voice, because I'll tell you, I get sick of it sometimes, just turn down the volume, let it play in the background. It clears your chakras, the energy, the house, the residence. And I had a client who was, the home was, I don't want to say possessed, but let's just say there was some bad juju there and it was really disruptive. They played that meditation on low for 24 hours. And the entities went away. The negative stuff was gone. Okay.
Okay.
Announced to her, the daughter liked the attention and invited it back in. So again, a secondary benefit that we want to be cautious of, or at least be aware of. But yeah, Kat, you work really, really well with the lunar cycles. So Haniel's the one to call on. You're releasing everything that doesn't belong to you, that doesn't serve you. And give yourself, your body responds well to affirmations they're telling you. So even affirmations of, I am strong, I'm spiritually strong, I am resilient, I'm confident.
Okay. Yeah, I had those up in my apartment.
Kick butt. So know that that's confirmation of what you're already thinking and doing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And
Thank you. All right, Grace, you're up. Grace.
Hello.
Hi, Grace.
You're
Hi,
You're live.
my name is Grace Learn. I'm 67, and I just want to know if I'm following my path.
Grace, I've got about 3 of you popping up in the energy field right now. Can you tell me where you are geographically so I can pinpoint you?
Um, 108 Mile Ranch, BC, Canada.
Okay. On the right path, yeah, 40 to 60%. They're saying that they've been communicating with you. That there's something else that you have a desire to do, wanting to do, and you've been holding back on it. Does this make sense to you? They're not showing me what it is.
Yes.
Okay. So, on the level that this resonates, whatever that is that you're holding back and not committing to or following through on or doing, they're really, really supporting you on this, bringing that to the forefront. And they're also talking about speaking your truth on this. When they're saying speaking your truth, it doesn't mean that we're telling somebody where to go and how to get there. Well, at least not always. But this is about you being comfortable and saying, I'm, planting this garden to be sustainable and I'm going to use it for the whole community. But what's been going on in the back of your mind is, I also want to have farm raised chickens or something. And again, they're not showing me what it is. So this is just kind of what's coming through. Give yourself permission to say, and I want chickens, and I'm going to grow and raise chickens. I'm going to farm chickens, and I'm going to have this crop too. So whatever these 2 things are, be able to speak your truth and say, this is what I want. This is what God has placed in my heart, and I'm ready to fulfill this mission.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, honey.
And then Christina wrote back in. She was the one that had the several cases of pneumonia. Wanted to know what that was related to. She says she is a 57-year-old from Mallorca, in Spain.
I'm going to go into my handy dandy little cheat sheet here. And when it comes to lungs, one of the main things that happens with lungs is
The other person that had a thing with lungs, listen up.
this is the pneumonia lungs or no?
Pneumonia lungs, yes.
So when we think about the lungs symbolically, it relates to an attunement with the divine flow of life and love. Literally, they are the organs of inspiration. The word breathe means to inspire. So I like to call on Archangel Raphael and ask him to come and stay with me on this, Christina, because it's pretty woo-woo. But literally rub your hands over your lung area and ask, what message do you have for me? The big thing that I'm hearing is you've been denying yourself life. Does that make sense?
Oh, wow.
So where are you denying yourself that freedom to live?
She says, interesting. I got electrical problems in my apartment too. Oh, that's she was replying to that, but yes. Oh.
And I see that she wrote that she started crying profusely.
Yeah, actually hit me when I asked about myself about it. I started crying really profusely, releasing something. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yes. And yes, Christina, absolutely releasing. And know that when you release it, go ahead and set the intention. You want to release it because you're bringing forth the lessons and the love. So whatever it is that you are learning from this and the love, forgive yourself, because this is not a conscious thing that you said, oh, I want to hold on to this and deny myself this pleasure. Okay. No. So this is, you are learning, you are bringing forth the lessons and the love you have for life, the love God has for you, right? The love you have for everything else. And you're bringing that forth with that lesson, and that's going to reinvigorate you. So yes, you're releasing and you're also healing.
Kourtney, is it in general, if we have body issues, should we put our hands on it and say, what message do you have for me? Or is that like a rule of thumb?
It sounds so corny. And
I love it. I tell
25
my
years
body all the
ago, hey, your knee has a personality, or or your house has a personality, right?
Yeah.
Cuckoo, let me go back to selling motorcycles, right? But yeah, And I became very, very aware of it as a young entrepreneur starting off with no money, right? And I would get so stressed in my neck, and my shoulders would just be so tight, and I'd be trying to lie in bed and I couldn't get comfortable. And finally I was like, what is going on? So it wasn't the most gentle, loving way I asked, but I was just fed up. And that's when I started hearing, you know, you are scared of who you are in the world. And we need attention in this. We need to know that you understand you are scared, but that you know you have support. And later on, when I was doing more healing work, that's when I learned, oh, that's your head and neck is all about how you relate to the world, how you relate to society viewing you. Well, shoot, I was walking around with a target on my back becoming an angel reader, right? Of course, I had the stress and but yes, finally being asked, saying, what do you need from me? And a lot of it was just that acknowledgement and breath, just breathing in and sending them breath, sending them love, sending them inspiration.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you for being vulnerable with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people on the line here know they have these really special gifts, but to put it out there in the world and to be so vulnerable as the way you have, you know, you're really living in your truth, and that can be scary though, you know?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my dad is that generation.
Yeah.
And come on, motorcycle,
Yeah,
you know, sing, that's his background mentality. He could not say angel reader or even anything spiritual without snickering or rolling his eyes.
Oh, bless you.
And it was hard. My only living parent, right?
Right.
It has just been recently that I got, this sounds so materialistic, I got a car that's fast. And he saw it and he went, this is yours? And I said, yeah. And he was like, you know, this car is fast. And I said, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not dead. I grew up racing. We love racing. And only then did he go, did your business afford you the ability to pay for this? And I said, well, yeah. And he was like, you're doing it. And I was like, well, it's been how many years? And you're just not realizing. And I couldn't just say, I told you so. But for him, that generation, he had to see something material.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yes.
He had to see, you know, a motorcycle that proved that it wasn't fake, right? I'm not Miss Cleo or something that, and come on, you can't do this for as long as I have without having that ability, because people will just, you know, throw you into the dirt, even if you do have the ability, right? So yeah. And sometimes our biggest supporters are people we don't even know, and God bless you and thank you, because sometimes the one we're closest to, they don't know how to support us.
Right. Right. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of runs the gamut. I mean, I always needed kind of approval from people in general. You know, I've really worked on that. Like, you know, why am I trying to prove myself to everybody else in the world and stuff like that? It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would like to take some more callers, but let's go through the package first.
Yeah.
And then we'll take just a couple more after, maybe one or two. Does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up and share it. You know, let me just say, I have really been selective in who I've brought on this series. And I really have been selective with even the programs that we offer you guys. This one with Kourtney is quite the exceptional package. And well, a lot of them are, but this one especially, I thought she's just so amazing. So with that said, here it is. Kourtney, you want to go through all the items?
Yes.
A little bit about, you know, what someone would expect and how they work with you and why do they choose, you know, why do they come to you?
So why work with me?
Yeah.
Because I already love you.
Yes, yes. I just was curious because you talked about how you kind of take people through and how you've worked with different, and for I'm sure for your higher level people that work in your world, you've taught them how to do readings in the way that you have and create the space and lots of different things. So yes, tell us about your package.
So in this package, you're going to get some meditations that I got to tell you. When she told me about doing this meditation, we Jeneth and I kind of co-collaborated on this, and here's a normal meditation, and she said, great, let's 10x it, let's give them the very most. And it was like, okay, let's do this. And so it took me some time, and it took me, gosh, probably a couple of weeks to really lean into this and get you a really great meditation. But first off, the 30-minute one-on-one session with me. So it's going to be not just a reading, but we're going to talk about where you are now, where you want to go, what's going to happen, what needs to happen to get you to that highest vibration. A lot of my mentoring clients, so one of my clients is a gold medalist, and she came to me and she said, here's where I am now. I'm stuck. My house is falling apart. I've been forced to live with my daughter, and I want to increase my financial status. And I said, well, Gabriel is telling me you have a book. She said, what do you mean a book? I said, you're writing a book. And she went, no. And I said, well, he's not leaving, and he is saying you're writing a book. And she went, oh, I started a book, 15 years ago. And I said, great, get it out. I will have you know that during this process, we talked about it, and now her book was published November 4th, Hike the Course by Barbara Ann Cochran. If y'all ever want to read it. The publisher even called me and said, would you be willing to write something on the back about her and about the book? Because she credits our interaction, the angels, God, with getting her from where she was to that higher level. And that's what we're going to do with you, because a lot of you need healing. You need that and healing under the umbrella of maybe there was trauma. And it doesn't mean we have to rehash it, but we do need to be able to say, what could we do differently if we're ever in that situation again, so that our brain doesn't have the same synapses. We create a new wiring so that we can have new options and move forward with it. So that one-on-one session is really, really huge. Bring forth the light and love. Oh my gosh. One of my clients from New Zealand, she said, Kourtney, if I do nothing during the day, if I just hear this, she said, I can conquer anything. So this is an extremely powerful meditation that was divinely guided for me to bring to y'all. And I will tell you, you will notice in it whenever you hear me speaking that there is almost a push in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I sound like I'm being too forceful. But it's just the energy of it, of y'all have these amazing abilities and what you can do. Creating the highest version of yourself with love. This is the meditation that was super huge, right? Is this the one that's hold on, I apologize, y'all. So this is the one that's going to unlock the wisdom, align you with the highest version of yourself. So we all have different versions, and they say you have free will. You can choose which version of yourself you're going to bring to the world. I'll tell you, I could be selling motorcycles right now. Not that it would be what I want to do, but if I had to, I could, and I could complete that cycle, that version, that destiny line. But I've chosen to do a higher destiny line, which is bringing forth my gifts to humanity and helping everybody else learn that they have gifts that they can bring forth to help the entire world. And so that's what this meditation is about.
Fabulous.
Kourtney, you nailed it. That's exactly what I was getting at. Because it's so amazing, and I love that you are here for others to get their gifts out to the world too. We all have these really great timelines that we have free will too, so we can play out however we want. But I think that's just amazing. So thank you for bringing that to the audience today.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to share my gifts.
Yeah, so if you want a session with Kourtney, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat and the meditations.
And I
as well.
will take the next question.
Great.
Jennifer, we'll have to unmute her, but you are up.
Great. Let me stop the share. And
There you go.
Jennifer, okay, great. Jennifer, you're up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. Today, I don't know, today feels like a powerful day. It's also 11:11 where I am right now, and it's my dad's birthday, and I had a dream last night about my dad. I've made my career about helping others and working with children, and yeah, I guess I don't know if I have a specific question, but I'm always reflecting back on how like I don't really fit in this world, but how I can still create what I'm creating, if that makes sense. So just continuing to step into my power, and I want to be a homeowner this year, and I don't know, just continuing to expand. So
And you're 27, is that correct?
I'm 30.
Okay, 27 was a pivotal year for you. And you don't have to confirm or deny those allegations. They're not showing me what it was, just that was the age they gave me.
Okay.
And are you aware that you're an animal communicator?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
As I say that, my dog's looking at me.
They love this energy. I have two little dogs, and if
Aww.
they hear Jeneth talk too much, they'll jump up on the desk because they love her energy. So you have that natural gift and ability, and that same energy that makes you want to work with children is also that connection with the animals. So know that you are a person who is going to naturally gravitate to those things. And even though you don't feel like maybe Earth is your home or this is your home, know that, and we can go into a long discussion on that, but know that you are here to make a difference. And one of the things that's going to happen with you, Jennifer, is if you try to go against what's in your heart, what you resonate with, it's going to fail. And it is going to be blocked over and over and over again. When you are in that flow, and like you said, it's a very empowering day, and you feel like you're going to be a homeowner this year, I see that happening for you. Of course, you have free will, and you can go, nope, never going to fill out the application to get the mortgage, right? But as she sits, I do see that happening for you, and realistically, even in July.
Wow.
When I go into that energy for you, if you deny yourself these things that you're being called to do, you're gonna feel blocked. You might even start feeling kind of down, kind of blue. Loneliness will even start to creep in. So if you ever get to that feeling, and this is really for a lot of y'all, if you ever feel that way, stop and say, okay, wait, hold on, what needs to change? What do I need to do differently? Where am I being called? What do I love? What's my passion? And really go down into that heart space and allow it to bloom and expand so that you can be in alignment with that.
Powerful.
Is that helpful, honey?
Yes. And I guess my other question too is I'm in Boulder, Colorado. I think this is the location, but I'm also really drawn to Lyons, which is a little mountain town. And that's one of the places that definitely like lights me up.
When I go into this, there are going to be some very specific points on the globe that you are drawn to. And these are going to be, I don't want to say they're places with portals because that can sound a little woo-woo, but this isn't too woo-woo for you, they're saying.
Yeah.
Specific places on like the parallels, like the 34th parallel. And I don't even know if that's a parallel. Okay, it's just coming through. But look and see where it lines up, because these are places that you are going to thrive, and you will continue to do well whenever you're in these points. I also see you doing some traveling, and there is a call to, I'm going to say this is Egypt because I'm seeing pyramids. Does that resonate with you?
Wow. I mean, I know I've only just scratched the surface with travel. So wow, that would definitely make sense, because I always feel so activated by the places I visit. And I did Hawaii this year, and it completely blew me away. So I can't even imagine what other places have in store.
Going to open you up even more of the places you visit.
Wow.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, well, with respect to your time, I think we better call it a wrap. My gosh, Kourtney, is there anything that you have that you want to say to the group before we
Any
wrap
party
up?
words?
Parting words.
Yeah. One of the biggest things, especially from last year, now we're going into a totally different energy this year, but when I asked Michael, what guidance do you have for people right now? It's, you're not alone. And to know that even though you may not physically see us yet, we are there. It's one of the things my students, one of the first things they're like, when am I going to see it? And know that it can be gradual. So know that if you're like looking off in the distance, you're looking against the wall and there's what's called a convection, like the road, on a hot summer day, the asphalt, it gets really hot and you see that kind of wave. So if you see that like against the wall, or you see that in your line of sight, or even out of your peripheral vision, know that those are your angels and guides. Know that those are the benevolent, sentient beings who are around you, helping you. And when they communicate with you, they say the same thought over and over again. Take the umbrella. Take the umbrella. Not take the umbrella because it looks like rain. Okay, that's logic. Not take the umbrella because last time you didn't and it rained and you got soaked and you were miserable. That's your ego. But that repetitive statement over and over again in the present tense. Take the umbrella. Take the umbrella. Take the umbrella. Those are your angels and guides. And by asking them, show yourself to me, come to me, let me know when you're around, touch my nose, touch my shoulder. They want that interaction with you. So know that you're never alone and know that they're always there to help you.
That is fun. Oh my gosh,
It is
so
fun.
fun. Wow, Kourtney, this has been an amazing call. Thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you back someday.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed it and can't wait to hear the feedback on these meditations, because that one that I did that's new, that was, yeah, Jeneth pushed us to the next level. And so I can't wait to hear what y'all think about that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. My gosh, I really try to push. I just want everyone to have this epic experience, so.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh, it was so brilliant. Oh my gosh, I love this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.